recovery too. And yeah, like right now, like I said before, I couldn't get below like 160. Now I'm hovering around like 44 and stuff consistently, which is cool. I mean, it's crazy, you know, and I've gotten like my confidence in myself and who I am's gotten better. Just my whole outlook. So I don't know, maybe it was like turning, you know, being in my 30s, and it was just like I'm like my eyes are opened up to a lot of things and how I see myself and the world around me. Maybe it's just, you know, having a job, being around like kids and just being grateful for having more stability in my life instead of constantly like having to always like hustle or, you know, ask for money or this or that or trying to make it work so I could have this fight career. So, I don't know. I couldn't tell you like what the reason or one thing to another is, but you know, I know I just listen to myself and what's right for me, and I don't let, you know, coaches and people try to tell me what I know. So I research. I'm obsessed with the human body and what it does, and I think that every athlete needs to know everything about what their body does and the science behind it. I think that's going to help them get to the next level.
No, I fully agree. I mean, especially with modern science, like the way it is, like there's no reason why you shouldn't be searching on YouTube. I mean, hell, even TikTok has enough, you know, informational stuff now that you have no excuse not to learn more about not only the human body, but like if you are a martial artist, even if you're, you know, not even if, but if, you know, if you're doing Muay Thai, if you're doing Jiu-Jitsu, if you're an amateur wrestler, if you are an MMA fighter, like it doesn't matter what you are, you need to know more and everything about your certain sport. Like obviously if you're an MMA fighter, you kind of need to dabble in everything. But even with the other ones, like I've talked to multiple people that have done Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, and they realized that if I would have learned, you know, this one thing before I learned this other thing, everything else probably would have made way more sense to me. So, you know, I like that you enjoy continuing your learning process, because everybody, no matter what your age and no matter what field you're in, need to continue to learn everything all the time. Like again, the things we hold in our hands on a regular basis that we just scroll through stuff and double tap because we like it, or zoom in because we want to look at certain things on one picture, like that same thing has all the information you ever need to know about anything at all times. And we need to be, instead of scrolling, we need to be, you know, scrolling information. So, that's my thought process on the whole situation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's crazy. Like you have these very, very smart, intelligent people who are giving out their knowledge for free. You know, I have like a 45 drive to school every morning. So I'll like click on the podcast and stuff like that, and I'll listen. Like, recently I've been listening to, Dr. Huberman. He's up at Stanford University. The guy is so freaking smart. And then he has people, so other smart people, who are giving their, you know, their smartness away. And then you can go to them, and then, you know, they have other smart people. You know, it's just like a big, like, chain. That's another, thing that helps me so much get myself back, is like finding all these, you know, different people, who just knew. I was like, man, that resonates to me. Oh, let's dig into that. Like, you know, Dr. Stacy Sims, she's talking about she's great for female athletes, and she studies females all the time, and learning about that. And like Jolene Brighton, like that was getting me through like my birth control stuff, because like all these symptoms that happen. Like I was like, okay, peace here, let's dig here. I was like, oh my gosh, here's that. Okay, let's talk about this. Oh my gosh, you know. And so, just yeah, it's crazy. We underestimate it, like, you know, social media and all this stuff, and the power of having so much technology in our hands. It can be detrimental, or it can be useful. You know, everything's about balance, but it's crazy. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it is so interesting how much there is the study of how much the social media is being a detriment to the kids and teenagers coming up, and they think the suicide rate is going up because of the fact that social media is such a prominent thing with kids and teenagers and stuff, and that, they're obviously, with all the bad things, there comes good, and that's where all the information lies for, learning anything when it comes to having a phone in your hand. Like, it's the whole Spider-Man thing. It's like, with great power comes great responsibility. Well,
yes.
Great responsibility is the phone in your hand. Like, you have the power to not only look up great things and learn great things, but you also have the power to put it down and, like, enjoy the world that is around you with your own eyes, not through somebody else's eyes. So, like, let your own eyes be your camera, basically.
Yes. And, well, like, there's times, more recently, I think I'm on social media, like, a lot more, than I used to be. And there's, like, I get this, I don't know what it is, this, like, stimulus hit, this, like, good, like, I don't know, like, a sense when I'm, doing, like, pictures and posting this and that. I do enjoy that, but I also find myself worn out, like, overstimulated by it. I'd be, like, constantly on my phone, and I just feel it. I'm like, I need a break. I need to just get off of here.
Yeah.
Take a small break or something, So I'll probably go through phase. I'm such like a phaseful person. I'll go like through something, try something for a while, and then I don't know, you probably won't hear from me like 3 months or something like that. I don't know, the only thing consistent in my life is like training and fighting, it's crazy. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Until then, you'll see me through your feed quite a bit, I guess.
That's not a bad thing, because I mean, the funny thing about being a fighter is that you're also your own promoter, and so like you have to continue to put yourself out there, and you have to. I mean, I'm learning it on a different level when it comes to podcasting. It's like you have to continue to put stuff out there so that people are thinking about you, or maybe looking forward to what you got going on next. And we see it a lot of times. I mean, we're seeing it more now with fighters that are taking the OnlyFans route, but I'm not talking about the way that most people think of OnlyFans. I'm talking about the way where people are putting their fight camps on, Patreon, on OnlyFans, on other paywalls, to where if you want to see how your favorite fighter is training, well, you got to pay, X amount of money to do it, which is not a bad thing, because it's collecting money for fighters, which, again, that's something, a fighter's pay is something we could get into for a long time, but whether or not us talking about it's going to make any traction on it is a whole other thing. But fighters need to get paid on the back end, and so if they can get paid through OnlyFans so that people are watching them train, which is something they were going to do anyway, they just have somebody else videotaping it for them. Or not videotaping. I say videotaping, but they're videoing it on their phone, and they're putting it out online. So that's not a bad thing. And, when it comes to like people like Jake Paul, like, which I know you have mentioned is one of your people for helping continue your UFC dream. We saw that dude come up from a YouTube guy, and now look what he's done with boxing in general, like really put boxing on its head and showing also MMA, hey, these guys are getting paid, you're not doing it. So, like, what can we do here? And that's why that maybe not be why he's facing all these old MMA guys, but he's helping them get paid when they're not getting paid because they're not fighting anymore. So, like, I guess if you want to talk to us about that, like, what is Jake Paul and what he's done and what he's doing kind of mean to you?
Yeah, he came in clutch for me when I needed it, which was cool. Now, part of me kind of like feels like it cost me my career because of the politics that came with that. I felt like Erin, she is a freaking great fighter, and I'm so glad with her progress and like how well she's done. Because like it put into perspective too, is like, you know, when I fought her, I felt like I did a good job because again, she's a really, really great fighter. Yeah, like I felt like if I didn't win that fight, a part of me knew that I wasn't going to fight for the UFC again just because of that situation of Jake helping me, which is unfortunate. But that's a part of it, and that's the risk I need to take. And at that time, I really needed that help, from him to get me by and with everything that was going on. I got a lot of shit for it, which is crazy, but I think people were just like, kind of jealous, and everybody had some like animosity towards things like, well, why didn't I get that, you know? But you know, reality of it, I was working, and I was, you know, doing multiple like side jobs, and I was still working at Starbucks and stuff. My husband, he was working, he's a personal trainer, like their facility closed down because he works with the older people and stuff, and everything was really slow because the old people didn't want to come out because they're getting sick and dying, you know. Mm-hmm. Can't blame them for that, right? The COVID. So, he had to pick up another job and blah, blah, all that stuff. So yeah, like, you know, having that help from him. And again, my, fight, I was supposed to fight, a different girl, Stephanie, what's her last name? Yager or something like that.
Yeah, Egger.
Yeah. Yeah, and that got canceled. Loopy tried to fill in, but she couldn't get a visa, which sucks, and this and that. So, like, you don't get paid if your fights don't go through like that. And that was like, it was like the week of, and then Stephanie got, COVID. You know, I don't blame her or anything on that. Sucks. But like, I don't get paid for that. And camps, it's costly for camps. It costs, to have like a trainer and to get some like other nutrition help and to, you know, have that time. And if you really want to dedicate and give your all to these camps, you need, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to do 2 days. And like, where do you fit working with that? So I was still trying to work and do all that. And like, so all in all, long story short, I feel like I just like threw up on you a bit. I'm sorry. Jake's help was like needed, and I greatly appreciated it, and it gave me a chance for people to get to know me. Like I was on TMD, like the whole world got to know me in that instance, and who I was, and he helped me get there. He helped get my name and stuff out there, which was really cool. And like getting to know him, he's a super cool guy, very nice. Seems like a patient person, and he seems like he wants to help the fight community and treat people fairly. I agree with him. You know, he kind of opened my eyes a little bit to stuff. I usually stay pretty neutral things, like stay in my own lane and just do what I need to do, but he did open my eyes that like I was a professional athlete on this level that's on like ESPN, like this you know, like, you know, this company that's on this high level, like on this big TV, but yet where I was on a poverty level on income, trying to make it. Like, it's like, damn, you know, like, I'm grateful to be on there, but it was just, it really was kind of a mess. Like, people thought I had a trainer who, like, he, in his head was like, oh, this professional athlete who's getting paid all this money. I was like, no, bro, I could tell you, but, I'm broke as fuck, okay? You know, it's not like a basketball player. It's not like, these guys who have this contract and they automatically get paid, whether they play or not. It was different. So, yeah, I think what Jake's done, what he's doing, it's opened a lot of doors. I think it's bringing boxing back. think